Here we are connecting. Good morning, YouTubes, folks. Good morning there. We are getting ready, of course, to be live on Facebook live stream. And today we're doing the back half live also on the radio, thanks to Uncle Pete. Me for being there on the pre-recorded portion this morning, this wonderful Thursday. We're doing the rest of the day is a hashtag throwback, hashtag TBT, hashtag throwback Thursday on Uncle Pete in the morning. And I think that you'll understand why when you start listening. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. You may or may not get it this morning, and that's okay. Hey, this is all based on stuff you guys love to hear, want to hear, ask to hear. Really a very interesting morning. We compile your requests, and Mary Catherine is becoming something. I mean, she's been doing this long enough. Mary Catherine is becoming something of a master list maker. And of course, we are ASCAP licensed. So anything in that catalog we get to share with you on these wonderful, wonderful waves of internet. Airwaves, I don't think you can call this airwaves because this is not FM, this is not AM. And I do want to give a special shout out this morning to some amazing folks on the FM hemisphere there. And that is the amazing, incomparable Tom and Emily in the morning on 95 Will Rock. That's 95 WIIL Rock. And you may say, Uncle Pete, what in the friggin' heck are you doing talking up your competition, your morning show competition? You know what? There's plenty of listeners for everybody out there. We don't mind. And here on 21.6 The Net, our antenna is the internet. We have listeners the world over. While they're locally a well-known station, fairly well-known station in the Chicagoland, Milwaukee region, I mean, you got to share the love. We have a huge amount of listeners that we enjoy here in the same region, but then we've got amazing folks in the UK, in London. We've got listenerships in Germany. We've got, I don't know of any other station that has a following in Singapore. And we absolutely freaking love that. But of course, because 21.6 The Net was started right here in McHenry County, McHenry, Illinois, we have an amazing amount of wonderful, fantastic listeners right here in this area. So, am I bent about talking about these guys? Absolutely not. And here's why. They're having a Ramble On Thursday. Is that what they're calling it? Open Phone Thursday over there. So if you just want to talk and yak and talk, that's something we can do here. But we got a lot of stuff that we got to play the rest of the morning between 7 and 8 now for you guys to listen to. But if you feel like talking, give them a call. Go check out 95 WIILROCK.com. And you can grab their phone number, give Tom and Emily a call, say Uncle Pete sent them your way. And because they let Uncle Pete talk this morning. I gave him a call whilst I was driving in when I was supposed to be generally on the radio. Sometimes Uncle Pete, he moves a little slow in the morning. Thankfully, our station is programmed so that it just picks up Uncle Pete and he just starts broadcasting at 6 a.m. whether or not I'm sitting in front of the mic. Station no longer cares. That's the wonderful thing about software and automated robots and such. But no robot will replace the voice of wonderful Uncle Pete. But they let me talk. We got on there, we were talking, they were having good times, and they initially just let me started rambling on, and then I mentioned that, hey, what's up with you guys? We talk about this. Well, they said, what's up with you? I'm like, I'm on my way, and I'm into my studio, a little bit of your competition. Then we got to talking. They actually let me plug 21.6 The Net, 216thenet.com on their show this morning. For that incredibly gracious they are. That shows how incredibly kind they are, how incredibly open they are to learning about new stuff. Again, competition, insofar as there are plenty of advertisers and sponsors to go around, especially here in Chicagoland and beyond. And then Tom and Emily, I love those guys. They're hilarious. They're fun to listen to when I'm not on the air. If I happen to be able to catch them in the morning, I enjoy doing that. It's fun. You always get to enjoy listening as well to people that might be running their own kind of show, and maybe they're doing something that you can say, wow, we could really be doing better like that. Or maybe you hear somebody do something, you go, ooh, that's a little cringy. So enough yammering on, because it is now 7:05 a.m. See what happens? They put Uncle Pete in the talking mood, in the yakking and yammering mood, because their producer told them absolutely no music today. Well, that's where we do have one up on them, because here you go, folks. This is hashtag TBT Throwback Way Back Thursday. Here you go, folks. We're going to have a little bit of a history lesson for you, because it seems some folks want to erase history. You just can't do that. It's not a healthy thing to do. It's not a wise thing to do.
Yes, we'll rally round the fire, boys, we'll rally once again, shouting the battle cry of freedom. We will rally from the hillside, we'll gather from the plain, shouting the battle cry of freedom. The Union forever, hurrah, boys, hurrah! Down with the traitor, up with the star. While we rally round the fire, boys, rally once again, shouting the battle cry of freedom. We are springing through the dawn, our brothers like before, shouting by freedom, and we'll fill the nation right through freedom more, shouting by freedom, the Union forever, our boys hurrah, down with the traitor, up with the star, and we're rounding round the flag.
Bum, bum, bum. They're ending on a minor key because something important was going to happen after that, and in fact, it did. That was, folks, the North's, the Yankees side of the U.S.'s Civil War. Folks, this is a history lesson today. Hashtag TBT, hashtag Throwback Thursday, Throw Way Back Thursday. Folks, I know that was a horribly distasteful period of our country's history. There's been a lot of people yelling and screaming and hollering about what happened back then. People wanting to rip down statues. People wanting to rip down plaques. People wanting to erase things in history books because, well, hey, times have changed. They're moved on. Have you looked outside lately? Yeah, not so much. More than 200 years later, and we apparently still don't get it. You know what, folks? This discussion was had more than 200 years ago. There was a war. Everybody came, and it was a big, bad, bloody thing. You really want to do that again? I mean, I don't. Rather not. I'd really rather not. Hopefully you don't either. Now, when you put this in the frame of people marching through the gravel and the dirt, it's better because to me it initially sounded like folks eating Captain Crunch, and it got on my last friggin' nerve. So, but this is people walking.
We are a band of brothers and native to the soil, fighting for our liberty with treasure, blood, and toil. And when our rights were threatened, the cry rose near and far. Hurrah for the bonny blue flag that bears a single star. Hurrah, hurrah for Southern rights, hurrah. Hurrah for the bonny blue flag that bears a single star. as long as the Union was faithful to her trust. Like friends and like brethren, kind we were and just. But now when northern treachery attempts our rights to mar, we'll hoist on high the bonny blue flag that bears a single star. Hurrah, hurrah, for southern rights, hurrah, hurrah, for the bonny blue flag that bears a single star. First gallant South Carolina nobly made the stand. Then came Alabama and took her by the hand. Next quickly Mississippi, Georgia, Florida, all raised on high the bonny blue flag that bears a single star. Hurrah, hurrah, for southern rights, hurrah, hurrah, for the bonny blue flag that bears a single star.
Now, good folks of the Internet Radio universe, before you get your boxers in a bunch, remember, there were two sides. Apparently, there still are. Why? More than 200 years later, and after the highest casualty war this country has ever experienced, are we still having this conversation? It's because you're trying to hide from history. Stop it. Look at it. It ain't pretty, but you can learn from it. So says Uncle Pete in the morning.
By her example, now other states prepare to hoist on high the bonny blue flag that bears a single star. Hurrah, hurrah, for southern rights, hurrah, hurrah, for the bonny blue flag that bears a single star. Then cheer, boys, cheer, raise a joyous shout, for Arkansas and North Carolina now have both gone out. And let another rousing cheer for Tennessee be given. The single star of the bonny blue flag has grown to be 11. Hurrah, hurrah, for southern rights, hurrah, hurrah, for the bonny blue flag that bears a single star. Then here's to our Confederacy, strong we are and brave. Like patriots of old, we'll fight our heritage to save. And rather than submit to shame, to die we prefer. So cheer, cheer for that bonny blue flag, it bears a single star. Hurrah, hurrah, for southern rights, hurrah, hurrah, for the bonny blue flag, it bears a single star. Hurrah, hurrah, for southern rights, hurrah, hurrah, for the bonny blue flag, it bears a single star.
Blom, and there you go. Now, we started off right at the 7:05 mark of the 7 o'clock hour because, Uncle Pete got to yammering along this morning. But we started off with the Yankee, the North's battle cry of freedom. And now we just heard the bonny blue flag there. We've got a lot more coming up. And again, before you get your boxers in a bunch, untwist those little tighty-whities if they're binding up on you there. But do remember, there were two sides. You folks out there, you're still showing us two sides. Holy friggin' crap. More than 200 years later. What did we celebrate? 200 years in 1976. It's 2020, folks. I don't know, what the hell have you been doing? We had 44 years since then. 244 years as a country. And apparently, people still aren't getting the friggin' message. Again, quit trying to erase history, folks. You need to learn from it. Observe, learn, hear, listen.
The despot's heel is on thy shore. Maryland,
'tis at thy temple door.
Maryland, my Maryland,
Avenge the patriotic gore that flecked the streets of Baltimore, and be the battle queen of yore. Maryland, my Maryland. Thou wilt not cower in the dust, Maryland, my Maryland. Thy beaming sword shall never rust, Maryland, my Maryland. Remember Carroll's sacred trust. Remember Howard's warlike thrust.
and all thy slumberers with the just. Maryland, my Maryland.
Dear mother, burst the tyrant's chain.
Maryland, my Maryland.
Virginia should not call in vain.
Maryland, my Maryland.
She meets her sisters on the plain. Sick temper 'tis the proud refrain that baffles minions back on Maine.
Maryland, my Maryland. Arise, arise in majesty again. Maryland, Maryland, my Maryland.
And there in that very song, they sang of the carnage of Baltimore. Why should that sound so friggin' familiar today? You guys, come on. You're getting on Uncle Pete's last friggin' nerve here. And what we want to do is go ahead and play this little jaunty tune. I don't know if this is jaunty, actually. But, of course, you guys get the theme. You see what's going on. This is all songs. These are all songs from the Civil War, a lot of them from the South and the North. A balanced selection today. Get that little note there. Balanced selection. Folks, as a country, we had this conversation. It was a big, bad time. Again, there's a war. Everybody came. But no one seems to know about it now. I was surprised to learn that a lot of schools don't even teach this moment in our history anymore.
All the years creep slowly by Lorena.
Lorena.
Snow is on the ground again. The sun's low down the sky,
Lorena.
Frost gleams where the flowers have been. But the heart beats on as warmly now as when the summer days were done. Oh, the sun can never dip so low to be down in affection's cloudless sky. Past Lorena, since last I held that hand in mine and felt pulse beat fast, Lorena. Oh, mine beat fast too far from thine. 100 months 'twas flowery May, when up that hilly slope we climbed to watch the dying of the day and hear the distant church bells chime. Other than Lorena, far more than we ever dared to tell, and what we might have been, Lorena, had our lovings prospered well. Then 'tis pardon the years roll on.
They roll on.
I'll not call up their shadowy form. I'll say, them lost years, sleep on, heed life's pelting storms.
And there you go, Lorena. And that's just actually a little love song way back again from the Civil War era. And what we're going to do here on Facebook, folks, is we're going to play one that I did happen to listen to that was a little bit more upbeat than some of the others here. I mean, it really wasn't. It was not exactly an upbeat time in our history, was it now? But it's a little hard to enjoy the music this early in the morning if it's not going to keep your eyes open here. Well, this one is actually a little bit of a fun kind of song, sung by Tennessee Ernie Ford, songs of the Civil War. And again, folks, this is a time in history that you can't ignore. Don't ignore it. You're going to do yourself a massive disservice. Folks, I'm telling you, people who ignore history generally tend to repeat it. People who try to erase history generally intend to repeat it. Be mindful of that. And folks out there, oh my gosh, 244 years later, why are we still having this conversation? 244 years later, knock it off. we do have an amazing race here on this planet. It's called the human race. Underneath this pretty little packaging we've all got, everybody's got it. Packaging just looks a little different. It's kind of like marketing, folks. Marketing 101. And, when you walk up and down the grocery store aisle, you see hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of different incredible packages designed to get you to buy that particular item. Well, guess what? You know where that comes from? That concept comes from all of us walking around in different packages. Because you take this package off, there's not a single one of us that looks any different underneath. That's just the way it goes. Humans are designed a particular way. Underneath this packaging, the biggest organ we've got is our skin. Underneath that, there's not a single one of us that look different. It's just folks. But in the meanwhile, I hope you enjoy under the tree and eating some goober peas. How about we do that on Uncle Pete this morning?
Sitting by the roadside on a summer's day.
A day.
Chatting with my messmates, passing time away. Lying in the shadow underneath the trees. Goodness, how delicious. Eating goober peas. Peas, 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 peas. Eating goober peas.
Goober peas.
Peas, 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 peas. Eating goober peas.
Goober peas.
Goodness, how delicious. Eating goober peas. Peas, 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 peas. Delicious goober peas. When a horseman passes, the soldiers have a rule to cry out at their loudest, "Mister, here's your mule." But another pleasure that's enchantinger than these is wearing out your grinders, eating goober peas.
Goober peas.
Peas, 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 eating goober peas. Peas, 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 eating goober peas. Goodness, how delicious. Eating goober peas. Peas, 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 delicious goober peas. Just before the battle, the general hears a row. He says, "The Yanks are coming. I can hear them now." He turns around in wonder, and what do you think he sees? The Georgia militia eating goober peas. Peas, 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 peas.
Eat them goober peas.
Peas, 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 peas. Eating goober peas. Goodness, how delicious. Eating goober peas. Peas, 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 peas. Delicious goober peas.
Yum. Get you some goober peas.
I think my song has lasted almost long enough. The subject's interesting, but rhymes are mighty rough. I wish this war was over, when free from rags and fleas, we'd kiss our wives and sweethearts and gobble goober peas. Peas, 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 eating goober peas. Peas, 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 eating goober peas. Goodness, how delicious, eating goober peas. Peas, 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 delicious goober peas.
Yummy. Eating goober peas. And on that note, Facebook Live, folks, you may want to come join us over for the rest of the morning over on the 216 The Net YouTube channel, or simply go to 216thenet.com thenetfm.com. Click listen live. Hang out with us all day long. There's always something airing, streaming on 21.6 The Net, 525,600 minutes a year. We got a lot of time to fill. By the way, folks, we are always open to and looking for people with podcasts they'd like to get on the air, or someone with a new show idea. And if you'd like to become a member host, shoot a note to Pete at 216thenet.com or Kent at 216thenet.com. Let us know what your idea is or what your podcast is all about. We may just have a spot for you on 216 The Net. Meanwhile, good folks of the radio and of the YouTube live stream, let's keep this little thing rolling here this morning. Our history lesson is something else today, isn't it? Because, it did happen. You can't hide from history. You really can't, folks. You just got to learn from it, look at it, listen to it, learn from it. You've got to.
Southern men, the thunders mutter, northern flags and south winds flutter. To arms, to arms, to arms, to arms, to arms, to arms in Dixie. Send them back your fierce defiance, stamp upon the cursed alliance. To arms, to arms, to arms, to arms, to arms, to arms in Dixie. Advance the flag of Dixie. Hurrah, hurrah, for Dixie's land we take our stand and live or die for Dixie. To arms, to arms, to arms, to arms, and conquer peace for Dixie. To arms, to arms, to arms, and conquer peace for Dixie. Fear no danger, shun no labor, lift up rifle, pike, and saber. To arms, to arms, to arms, to arms, to arms in Dixie. Shoulder pressing close to shoulder, let the odds make each heart bolder. To arms, to arms, to arms, to arms, to arms in Dixie. Advance the flag of Dixie. Hurrah, hurrah, for Dixie's land we take our stand and live or die for Dixie. Arms, to arms, and conquer peace for Dixie. To arms, and conquer peace for Dixie. Swear upon your country's altar never to submit or falter. To arms, to arms, to arms, to arms in Dixie. Till the spoilers are defeated, till the Lord's work is completed. To arms, to arms, to arms, to arms in Dixie. Advance the flag of Dixie. Hurrah, hurrah, for Dixie's land we take our stand and live or die for Dixie. To arms, to arms, and conquer peace for Dixie. To arms, to arms, and conquer peace for Dixie.
Bob Roebuck is my sweetheart's name. He's off to the war and gone. He's fighting for his Nanny dear. His sword is buckled on. He's fighting for his own true love. His foes he does defy. He is the darling of my heart, my southern soldier boy. Oh, if in battle he were slain, I'm sure that I would die. But I am sure he'll come again to cheer my weeping eye. But should he fall in this our glorious cause, he still would be my joy. For many a sweetheart mourns the loss of a southern soldier boy. rest, and so do all whose hopes are in the field. I know that we shall win the day, for Southerns never yield. And when we think of those who are away, we'll look above for joy. And I'm mighty glad my Bobby is a Southern soldier boy. And when we think of those who are away, we'll look above for joy. And I'm mighty glad my Bobby is a Southern soldier boy.
There's a yellow rose in Texas I'm going home to see. Though other men have held her, her heart belongs to me.
You've traveled down some dusty roads, slept out in the rain, but this yellow rose is always here when you come home again.
She knows I've done some hard times.
You stumbled and you fell, I just kept your pride from dying.
You saved my soul from hell.
She's a diamond of the desert, she's a golden flower of spring. She's a yellow rose of Texas, she can make a man a king.
There's a yellow rose in Texas, she knows the dues I've paid, and I'm going home to tell her I wish I'd never strayed.
You couldn't see beyond yourself, your pain and wounded pride, but now you know the truth is in the way you feel inside.
She knows I've done some hard times.
You stumbled and you fell, I just kept your pride from dying.
You saved my soul from hell.
She's a diamond of the desert, she's a golden flower of spring. She's a yellow rose of Texas, she can make a man a king.
Yes, the yellow
Rose of Texas can make a man a king.
God save the South, God save the South, her altars and firesides, God save the South. Now that the war is nigh, now that we arm to die, chanting our battle cry, freedom or death. Chanting our battle cry, freedom or death. Now that the war is nigh, now that we arm to die, chanting our battle cry, freedom or death. Chanting our battle cry, freedom or death. God be our shield, at home or afield. Stretch thine arm over us, strengthen and save. What though they're 3-1, forward each sire and son. Strike till the war is won, strike to the grave. Strike till the war is won, strike to the grave. Now that the war is nigh, now that we arm to die, chanting our battle cry, freedom or death, chanting our battle cry, freedom or death.
And that was a lovely a cappella rendition, wasn't it? Now, don't get your boxers in a bunch. Pull those tighty-whities out your crack. You're going to be okay. Now, if you're not digging the history lesson this morning, that's a good thing either way, because we can learn from this. Why do we need to have these conversations now that were had so very long ago? Our Civil War, as I've come to discover, is either glossed over or just really, really not given proper focus at all, or just completely not even talked about because of the I don't know what because people don't want to look at it. People don't they want to pretend it didn't happen. It was a bad time. It was about bad stuff. That's the most important stuff you should remember and learn from so you don't make the same mistakes. Now, if you're intentionally erasing history, and I do, there's something to this. I will give this credence. If you're intentionally erasing history, generally means you intend to repeat it and you don't want people knowing about it. That's a bad thing too, folks. Not great stuff. But while we're having this wonderful history lesson, let's not forget, because we would be remiss if we did, and it is already 7:41 a.m. We do want to mention a couple of folks that have been with 216 The Net since the very, very beginning, and that's Natural Therapy Wellness Center. One of our oldest, if not the oldest advertiser with our station, and we thoroughly enjoy and appreciate their support. Natural Therapy Wellness Center, we'd love you to support them as well. They can be found at or called at 815-385-8190. They can be found at McHenryMassage.com, because of course a massage can be a great way to pamper yourself, can also help alleviate or even sometimes cure those ailments or that stress you deal with on a day-to-day basis. Contact them today to speak with one of their certified massage therapists. Natural Therapy Wellness Center, 815-385-8190, McHenryMassage.com. And of course, we do want to remind you that if you missed it, Tuesday this week, Tuesday at 6, had a unique episode of Your Home with Bremer and Jones every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Jones has been out of town welcoming his son from the Navy home down in Florida. He's on his way back now. Bremer hosted the show. She hosted solo there with Christine Ditzler. Christine Ditzler was her guest. Great conversation. You can find that up on the 216 The Net YouTube channel if you missed it live Tuesday evening. It's there on the YouTube channel for you to check out, 216 The Net on YouTube. And of course, coming up Friday this week, we'll have Ask a Bookkeeper with Steph Conley of Steph's Bookkeeping Service, 3:30 this Friday, live on 216 The Net, 216thenet.com. The only bookkeeper out there that makes talking about bookkeeping actually a lot of fun. Steph is the bookkeeper with a personality. Isn't that terrible? You're stereotyping bookkeepers or accountants as rather Joel folks. They aren't. Good old Uncle Pete, one of his kids is an accountant, CPA, as a matter of fact, who is an incredible, remarkable, adventurous fella himself. And he does a lot of work for one of the big four as far as the accounting firms go out there nationwide. But he's always off on some kind of adventure. He's quite the adventuring fellow. Uncle Pete's son is, even though he's a CPA, and people are like, he just happens to be good at numbers. So there you go. But definitely go check out Natural Therapy Wellness Center. And then we're going to go ahead and run out the rest of the morning with a lot of songs from our past. Hopefully you'll learn and you'll enjoy learning. Here you go, folks.
Come all ye sons of freedom and join our southern band. We're going to fight the Yankees and drive them from our land. Justice is our motto and Providence our guide. So jump into the wagon and we'll all take a ride. So wait for the wagon, the disillusioned wagon. The South is the wagon and we'll all take a ride. Secession is our watchword, our rights we all demand. To defend our homes and firesides, we pledge our hearts and hands. Jeff Davis is our president, with Stevens by his side. Brave Beauregard, our general, will join us in the ride. Wait for the wagon, the disillusioned wagon. The South is the wagon, and we'll all take a ride. Our wagon is the very best, the running gear is good. Stuffed round the sides with cotton, and it's made of southern wood. Carolina is the driver, with Georgia by her side. Virginia holds the flag up, and we'll all take a ride. Wait for the wagon, the disillusioned wagon. The South is the wagon, and we'll all take a ride. Old Lincoln and his congressman with Seward by his side put old Scott in the wagon just for to take a ride. McDowell was the driver, to cross Bull Run he tried, but there he left the wagon for Beauregard to ride. Ooh, wait for the wagon, the disillusioned wagon. The South is the wagon, and we'll all take a ride. The Tennessee boys are in the field, eager for the fray. They can whip the Yankee boys 3-1, they say. And when they get in conflict with Davis by their side, they'll pitch into the Yankee boys, and then you'll see them slide. Wait for the wagon, the disillusioned wagon. The South is the wagon, and we'll all take a ride. Our cause is just and holy, our men are brave and true. We'll whip the Lincoln cutthroats, is all we have to do. God bless our noble army, in him we will confide. So jump into the wagon and we'll all take a ride. Wait for the wagon, the disillusioned wagon. The South is the wagon, and we'll all take a ride.
The day of our destiny was darkened. The heart of the nation stood still when Forts Henry and Donaldson surrendered and Johnston fell back to Nashville. But the clouds which then thickened all around us served only the plainer to show the form of that hero arising to deliver us all from the foe. Here's to Forrest from the brave Tennessee. Here's to Forrest from the brave Tennessee. In our hearts he will triumph forever. Here's to Forrest from the brave Tennessee. At Shiloh he charged a division and covered our army's retreat. At Murfreesboro won his promotion when Crittenden admitted his defeat. Next straight went careering before him, expecting our rear to assail. But Forrest with his fair maiden pilot soon landed the robber in jail. Here's to Forrest from the brave Tennessee. Here's to Forrest from the brave Tennessee. In our hearts he will triumph forever. Here's to Forrest from the brave Tennessee. Chickamauga, Chattanooga, Oklahoma, Memphis and Tishomingo Creek, Union City, Fort Villa, and Paducah, all the deeds of our hero bespeak. Now Athens, Sulphur Springs, and Pulaski have aroused old Sherman from his lair. For the boldest of Yankee commanders will tremble with Forrest in his rear. Here's to Forrest from the brave Tennessee. Here's to Forrest from the brave Tennessee. In our hearts he will triumph forever. Here's to Forrest from the brave Tennessee. Next, Johnsonville attracted his attention, where Sherman had collected his stores, and the gunboats once terrible to mention loaded grandly and proudly at his doors. But as Forrest's artillery battalion, Morton, Rice, and Walton and Crawl, set fire to Sherman's gunboats and transports, nor ceased till they had burned them all. Here's to Forrest from the brave Tennessee. Here's to Forrest from the brave Tennessee. In our hearts he will triumph forever. Here's to Forrest from the brave Tennessee. Here's to Forrest from the brave Tennessee. Here's to Forrest from the brave Tennessee. In our hearts he will triumph forever. Here's to Forrest from the brave Tennessee.
Southern men, the thunders mutter, northern flags and south winds flutter. To arms, to arms, to arms, in Dixie. Send them back your fierce defiance, stamp upon the first alliance. To arms,
for those of you,
to arms.
For those of you, we're going to go ahead and talk over Two Arms in Dixie here. By the way, that's Albert Pike singing his tune right there. And doing actually a very good job of it. But for those of you who are expressing your dismay at our list this morning, do bear in mind that it is 2020 And the folks in the South back then, well, how did things turn out for them? Yeah. If you don't know, it's because you didn't learn your history, folks. And that's friggin' important. It is important to observe, listen, hear, and learn from our history, our real, true, genuine history. Quit knocking things down, quit covering things up. If it dismays you, if it discomforts you, if it offends you to look at history, good, great. That is what history is for. It's for you to learn from those feelings, those emotions that it evokes, so that you don't repeat it, so that you can do something better, so that you can make a better country, a better society, a better town, city, neighborhood, a better life. That's exactly what you can do with everything that's happened in our past. You just aren't getting it, because we're having to have these conversations to this very day. And it saddens me. That saddens old Uncle Pete here. And I want to be happy. In fact, I told my grandpa those very words when he asked me, Peter, what do you... He was British. Actually, he was Irish, and I can't do an Irish accent. But he said, Peter, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I remember very distinctly looking up at him. And in all sincerity, after giving it a moment, just a moment's thought, I said, happy. I remember this distinctly, because he got a big scowl on his face and looked down and said, that's the wrong answer. Even at that age, I was pretty sure I was right. Now I'm way past the 50-year mark, more than 5 decades under my belt, under my gut here. And let me tell you, I know I was right. And I think a lot of you should examine what you want to be when you grow up, even if you're as old Uncle Pete. And we'll be back tomorrow, because tomorrow is Friday. And guess what? No more preaching from Uncle Pete. No more yelling, screaming, and soapboxing from old Uncle Pete, because Friday mornings from 6 to 7 are Mary Catherine's Power Hour playlist. There are tons of you out there who absolutely love and enjoy that. So definitely tune in for that. Then 7:15 to 8, you've got What's in Your Loaf with Deacon Skeet, making fun of the world, everything and everyone in it. And then, of course, man, keep those requests coming. You just keep them coming, Pete, at 216thenet.com. By the way, if you haven't had a chance, we don't mind. Check out our career peers, Tom and Emily, over at 95 Will Rock. On their morning show. They've been taking calls all morning today. So hopefully you check them out as well. We don't mind sharing the love. It's what we do. Until tomorrow morning, folks, I've been Uncle Pete in the morning. Have a great, fantastic, wonderful Thursday.
I know dark clouds will gather around me. I know my way is hard and steep, but beauteous fields arise before me, where God's redeemed their vigils keep. I'm going there to see my mother. She said she'd meet me when I come. So I'm just going over Jordan. I'm just going over home.
So long, YouTube folks. See you tomorrow morning.
Over Jordan, I'm just going